Shania Twain's story is not merely one of talent and superstardom. It is a testament to survival. Born Eileen Regina Edwards on August 28, 1965, in the small mining town of Windsor, Ontario, she grew up in the harsh landscape of Timmins. Her childhood was defined by poverty, hunger, and instability. Yet even amid hardship, she discovered music as a lifeline. Singing in bars as a teenager to help support her family, she learned early that her voice could be more than a gift. It could be a way out. The death of her parents in a car accident when she was 21 forced her into adulthood overnight. Instead of chasing fame, she became guardian to her younger siblings. But the flame inside her never died. It grew, and eventually it would ignite the most successful career by a female country artist in history. Now, at 60, she is finally speaking openly about the influences that shaped her, starting with one unlikely hero, Ricky Nelson. From poverty to purpose. The early years. Growing up in Timmins, Shania's life was defined by scarcity. She wore hand-me-downs, went hungry, and learned that survival demanded toughness. Yet she also learned to find beauty in small things. A melody, a memory, a moment of silence. Music became her refuge, a place where pain could be turned into something meaningful. As a teenager, she sang in local clubs and bars long before she was legally old enough to be there, performing for tips and food and helping support her family. Even then, she knew she had a voice that could reach beyond her circumstances. She didn't just want to sing, she wanted to connect, to be heard, to be more than the hardships that surrounded her. Her early experiences shaped not only her sound but her spirit, giving her the emotional grit that would later define her music and her public persona. The turning point: loss, responsibility, and a new direction. At 21, Shania's life changed in an instant when her parents died in a car accident. Suddenly, she became the caretaker for her younger siblings, putting her dreams on hold. She took a job singing at Deerhurst Resort in Ontario, using her voice to keep the family afloat. This period revealed the depth of her character. She was not just a performer, but a protector. She carried the weight of her family's future while quietly nurturing her own ambition. It was a sacrifice that showed how deeply she loved and how fiercely she would fight for the people she cared about. Even while supporting others, she continued to develop her craft, writing songs and practicing tirelessly. She knew the world of music was her true calling, but she also understood that some dreams must wait until the right time. The breakthrough: a name, a sound, a revolution. Shania's big break came when she signed with Mercury Records in the early 1990s and adopted the stage name Shania, meaning "I'm on my way" in Ojibwe. The name was more than a label. It was a declaration of intent. Her debut album drew attention, but it was her partnership with producer Robert John Mutt Lang that changed everything. Lang recognized her raw talent and her songwriting potential, and together they built a sound that blended country, pop, and rock in a bold, new way. The 1995 album The Woman in Me transformed her into a rising star with hits like Any Man of Mine and Whose Bed Have Your Boots Been Under? She didn't just enter the country world, she reshaped it. Her music became a bridge between genres, and her confident modern voice made her an icon for a new generation of listeners. The global phenomenon, Come On Over and the World Stage. The album that defined Shania Twain's legacy was Come On Over, 1997, a record that became a cultural phenomenon and one of the best-selling albums of all time. It was more than a commercial success. It was a revolution. Songs like Man, I Feel Like a Woman, You're Still the One, and From This Moment On became global anthems, transcending country music and reaching audiences worldwide. Her videos were bold and trend-setting, her fashion fearless, and her voice unmistakable. She became a symbol of empowerment, a woman who embraced her strength, her sexuality, and her independence without apology. Shania's music offered hope and confidence to millions, especially women who saw themselves in her defiant optimism. Her influence reshaped the industry, proving that country music could be pop, rock, and modern without losing its soul. Heartbreak and healing. The end of a marriage. Despite her public success, Shania's personal life began to unravel. Her marriage to Mutt Lange collapsed in 2008 after he had an affair with her close friend and assistant, Marie-Anne Thibault. The betrayal was devastating, not only because it came from her husband, but because it came from someone she trusted deeply. The emotional impact was immense, and Shania later spoke about the feeling of abandonment and loss. Their divorce was finalized in 2010, ending one of modern music's most famous partnerships. Yet from the heartbreak emerged a new chapter. In a twist of fate, Shania found comfort in Thibault's former husband, Swiss executive Frédéric Thibault. They bonded over shared pain and eventually fell in love. Their relationship became a symbol of resilience, showing that even the deepest wounds can heal, and that life can begin again after betrayal. A new love and a new life. Rebuilding at 60. Shania and Frédéric married on January 1st, 2011, in a romantic ceremony in Puerto Rico. The union represented a fresh start and a renewed sense of peace. For the first time in years, Shania seemed to be rebuilding not only her personal life, but her emotional center. She became a devoted mother to her son Ija, pronounced Asia, born in 2001, and focused on creating a stable family life. Beyond her personal relationships, she also committed herself to causes that reflected her own past struggles. A dedicated vegetarian and spiritual believer in meditation and inner peace, Shania has spoken openly about the ways these practices helped her through illness, heartbreak, and recovery. She also founded Shania Kids Can in 2010, a charity aimed at supporting children facing poverty and instability. It was a full-circle moment, giving to others the stability she once lacked. The comeback, losing and rebuilding her voice. Shania's greatest battle was not with fame or heartbreak, but with her own voice. She was diagnosed with dysphonia and Lyme disease, conditions that severely damaged her vocal cords and threatened to end her career. For years, she struggled to sing, facing the terrifying possibility that her voice, her identity, might be gone forever. Yet she refused to surrender. Through therapy, perseverance, and sheer will, she slowly rebuilt her vocal strength. Her 2017 album Now marked a triumphant comeback, not just musically but personally. It proved that even a superstar can start over. Shania's return was not a simple comeback. It was a rebirth. She reminded the world that resilience is not a trait you are born with, but something you build through pain, patience, and determination. The truth at 60. Ricky Nelson's quiet influence. At 60, Shania Twain has become more reflective, and she recently revealed a truth she had kept private for years. Ricky Nelson was one of her earliest musical inspirations. She recalls being a little girl in Timmins, watching him on television, feeling a spark she couldn't explain. Nelson's voice, smooth and effortless, made her believe that music could offer escape, beauty, and meaning. As she grew older, she began to recognize something deeper in his artistry, his ability to blend genres, crossing country, pop, and rock without apology. Shania says she later realized her own genre-bending style echoed Nelson's influence. During her darkest years, when Lyme disease nearly stole her voice, she returned to his music for comfort. Nelson's songs reminded her of the girl who first believed in the power of melody. Now, with the clarity of age, she finally says it out loud. Ricky Nelson helped ignite the fire that made her the global superstar she became. Conclusion: a life of truth, strength, and unfinished songs. Shania Twain's life is a story of transformation. She rose from poverty to global fame, endured heartbreak and betrayal, and fought to reclaim her voice when everything seemed lost. Through it all, she remained deeply human, flawed, brave, and honest. Now, at 60, she is no longer afraid to speak openly about the influences that shaped her, including the quiet power of Ricky Nelson. Her journey proves that the artists we admire are not only shaped by their own struggles, but by the voices that reached them first. Shania's truth is a reminder that inspiration can come from the most unexpected places, and that courage is not the absence of pain, but the decision to keep singing anyway. Her legacy is not just in the records she sold, but in the resilience she embodies, and in the lives she continues to inspire.